Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. I know this isn't a typical Sunday 8 o'clock show, but we've had a very, very, very cold week, and it's been very hard to get much done. But tomorrow is spring, and we are super excited for spring to finally be here, even though we're battling the cold today. Um, but I don't know. Some of you know, some of you may not know. But as of last episode, we have decided to officially join forces with our neighbors of the past 2 years to become an off-grid community, official off-grid community. So Kim and I are together this evening, and we are doing a little community things. We're planting our gardens, and we thought you guys would like to join us. How many people are here? So who's all here, and where are you tuning in from? We're having tea. So if you have your tea, it's cold. It's just now getting above freezing. This might look like it's all beautiful and pretty outside, but it didn't look like this all day.
No, this is a cold start.
Hi, Michael, Australia. Hi, Dave. Hi, Pink Panther. Yes, it's tea and crumpets. We don't have crumpets, but we definitely have tea. Good. It's great to see everybody here. We're actually starting by prepping. We have two other community members besides Dan and Kim. So there's technically about 6 of us right now, but our other community members are starting their first garden this year, and we are going to help them get started by preparing them a seed basket and putting some seeds together that we have saved over the past couple of years and help them get their garden started this year.
Give them a little jump start.
Yeah, help them get a little jump start. So Kim and I went together and went in our seeds and kind of went through everything. And we put together in this little basket. And I don't know, you guys may have seen Dylan if you've watched a couple episodes back. He started and helped us put up the dome. He's been in a couple of our episodes.
We have little pots, and then we have some seeds that we put together and little labels so that they can keep track of what everything is on popsicle sticks.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think we got enough pots in here for all the different types of seeds, and I think we're giving them 27 different types of seeds to try and grow. Yeah, so that'll be good. But just to kind of show you guys, we've just kind of put it on the popsicle sticks. We've got these little envelopes to put it in, and we're gonna this is the last one that we have to do for the basket to be complete. So Kim will fill out our popsicle stick, and I'll get him some spinach. That was the one main thing that Dylan asked for, was greens and spinach. So Dylan, if you're watching, Alex, if you're watching, spinach seeds are coming your way, guys.
Yes. Some of these seeds are a little bit easier to handle than others.
Yeah. But either way, Kim and I are still pretty new to gardening. But we learned a lot last year, didn't we, Kim?
Yeah, we definitely did. A lot of changes from last year to this year, troubleshooting what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah, super true. But as you guys know, Kim and I decided to follow the Seed Time app this year, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Seed Time app. There you go. You can
thank you.
Try that out. Yes, wait. We have the marker. I don't know if you got the marker. Yeah.
Well, that one will finish off.
I guess we'll finish.
Probably. No. So this one goes right in here with the rest.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we hope they enjoy it.
Yes, we hope you guys enjoy this.
How's your tea?
I don't know. I'm about ready to try it.
What kind of tea are you drinking today?
I mixed a Tulsi tea and a mullein tea. I had a little cold at the beginning of the week, and it felt really hard in my chest. So mullein is a herb that's really good at cleansing out the lungs and detoxifying. So that's why I'm giving it a try today. Tell me about your tea.
My tea is an acai berry green tea, actually from Tea Bloom, which is a blooming flower. Turned out pretty cool. So not only does it taste good, but it's like art on your table.
It is really cute. I'm gonna try and put it up there a little closer so everyone can see.
Yeah.
Tea bloom is something we've done a lot before in our videos. We were just so fascinated with the flower that kind of blooms. And it's bound in tea leaves on the bottom. So the green is actual tea leaf, and then the flower adds to the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
They're super cute. Let's see who's on here. Who's coming on? We have, Vancouver. I see. Hello, Roger. Oh, Simple Life Portugal. That's our friends Dan and Cindy. They are in Portugal. I'm glad you guys love the Seed Time app. We are dedicated to our Seed Time app this year.
Yes.
We're going to try and follow it to a T. Other than Kim's planting some things this week that I'm not going to be starting yet because we're still in these really, really cold nights, and I still don't have temperature control in any of my spaces, and she does, so she can start some seedlings and get them in the light and get them in the warmth. But I don't have that ability yet, so I'm going to be waiting until I see the forecast show about 10 nights of above freezing in a row before I drop more seeds in. But according to Seed Time, I'm not that far behind.
No.
I'm only a couple crops.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's a good app for first time gardeners for sure, because it has so much information that would otherwise be so taxing to find and gather all in one place, which is really nice. Let's see what Rena says.
Breaks it down for you.
It does. That's what we were doing today too, Rena. We were also warming up some soil in trays because our dirt was a little bit frosted.
Right. Well, according to Seed Time, we are supposed to be getting our tomatoes and peppers planted.
We are. That's
Yes.
what the app says. And we'll just show you guys. We do have bear with me here. This is my first time really running a live stream with like extra stuff other than myself in it. But we have some little images here to share with you guys while we go through and do this. So I want to show you a screenshot from the Seed Time. This is from Kim's Seed Time. Oh, snap. Okay, hold on, bear with me. Here comes Sean. Share screen.
There we go.
Okay. He's coming with lighting.
There you go.
Okay. And this view. I don't know if I can.
Yep.
But it's okay. Okay, there we go. Now you guys can see this is a screenshot of Kim's seeding schedule, which is very similar to mine because we obviously live in the same zone. But what it has her starting all of this week, and you can see that she has the schedules, and you can see March, and it's saying there that we have seeding our peppers, seeding some of our root vegetables, some of our greens, and our tomatoes. That's pretty much what Seed Time in our zone, which we're located in zone 6B, has us starting this week. I'm holding off on starting mine this week, like I said.
Wait until it's more fun.
It's probably from the heater. Oh. Okay. All right. Let's see what Cindy says here. It does have a ton of crops, Cindy. Cindy's stating that it has a ton of variation of crops, which it definitely does. Like anything that you pretty much want to plant, we notice that it has in there. The only downfall that we notice with it is we want to plant a huge variety of herbs, and we didn't notice that it had
Every single herb.
Yeah, every single herb in there.
It had a lot of them.
So anyway, while Jens are here with us, Kim brought her planter down.
Yes.
And we are actually going to pop some of her pepper seeds in planters for her today. she has planting a major variety of peppers, and I'm going to try to plant a major variety of peppers. I couldn't get a single pepper to grow last year. Did you get any peppers?
I got some, but not nearly the yield that I was expecting. I think it was too shaded in the area that I had it in. So I'm going to change that up this year and put them in a different spot. But I also want to start them this year in a Mr. Stacky stackable inside and see if we can't get better results with that too.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. I like the stackable.
It's a really cool
You're selling
concept.
me on the stackable.
Right?
Yeah, I dig it.
All right, so I want to keep this one for the top, which is the Cali Wonder Peppers, just because I think they will be heavier. Why not?
Okay,
Yeah.
you want to start with the Cali Wonders?
No, I want to put those ones on top. And
Okay.
I think we're going to start with jalapenos.
All right.
Do you have, we have a little, what do you call these things again?
I don't know. This is the seed.
Makes a hole for you to put the seed in.
And it puts it at a good depth. Okay. So do you plant one in the middle, or is that just from the...
Not on the bottom one, because then it's going to be, it's not going to get sunlight because everything's going to get stacked on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. We saw some worms in this earlier.
Can we find pimento perdón? Actually, I have never heard of it. So have you heard of that? Pimento perdón? She's asking if we can find that in our area.
No.
As for like a seed, what is it? What is it?
Like a pepper?
Is it at our, is it a pepper? Is it at... Hi, Shannon. No, we decided to do 6 so that we could have the hottest warmth of the day. It's really cold out today. And so that we could also not be in the dark because, you know, lighting off grid and internet off grid. We're trying to make all the stars align for this web show.
I made sticks so I can label each level too, so you can keep track of what peppers are what.
So you're putting one variety of pepper on each level.
Yeah.
And your stackable has how many levels?
It has 5 levels.
Okay,
so
don't lose your guy here.
Yep, there we go. So essentially it could be 20 seeds, or although the top one can have a middle one, I don't see why not.
Yeah, okay, so it's 21.
Yeah.
What are you putting in next?
This one is going to be the hot Hungarian peppers. I was very unsuccessful with these last year. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it was the soil or when I put them in, because I didn't start them in seeds. I just direct sowed them. But we'll see this year if I can get some to grow, because these turn really cool colors, like oranges and reds and yellows. And...
Oh yeah, they add such pretty color to the garden. I like to see a lot of color in the garden
too.
And on my plate. Thank you, Miss Shannon. Miss Shannon sent a small tip for us there too.
Oh, thank you.
Well, actually, I thought 50. Okay.
Wow.
My eyes can't see, but thank you so much.
Thank you
Miss
very
Shannon.
much.
That will definitely help us get our garden. We're actually getting ready to start making our own compost.
Yes.
So we have done massive research on the recipe for 18-day compost, and we are going to attempt to make 18-day compost to fertilize our gardens.
Yes. I
This
can't wait to
year.
start that.
Yeah.
Am I lining up over there? Oh,
Yeah, you're
there we
in.
go.
You're
Okay,
in.
cool.
Okay.
I like how these assemble. They're pretty easy.
I love it. I love the simpleness of it. I remember the first year I was here, I bought peppers. I bought peppers as plants instead of starting as seeds.
Uh-huh.
And I was able to get a couple peppers off of the 2 pepper plants that I bought. But
You were.
that was it. No luck last year.
Seeds can sometimes be harder.
I know. It's keeping them from freezing.
This next level, I'm doing sweet banana peppers.
Okay, sweet banana peppers.
Yeah. These are what we grew last year. We tried some of those.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I remember now. They were really good. And Cindy, I know you told me. I saw it. I missed it. Okay. It's you said it was like a little green pepper. Okay, that's the pimento. The pimento, what the heck was it? Perdón. Am I saying that right? Pimento perdón. It sounds French. She says it's a little green pepper. Some are very mild and some will burn your mouth off.
Oh,
Usually deep fried. No.
interesting. That sounds yummy though.
Yeah, that
Kind of like a
sounds like a yummy
jalapeno
pepper.
popper. Those are tasty too. Okay. What's next?
Sean's here in the chat somewhere. He must be seeing the connection being a little choppier than us.
The next row I'm doing is a Cubanelle pepper. okra.
You grew one of those too last year, though, didn't you?
They
Didn't we
did.
keep one of those?
They were green. And those did pretty well. I had those next to okra last year.
The okra.
Yes. Your okra took off
I
last
know
year.
it did.
Those stalks were like bean stalks.
I know they were. They were so tall. The bottom of the okra that I grew, the stem, the actual stem itself was, I mean, it was bigger. It's bigger than as my forearm, like coming off of the
Really
trunk.
was.
The Scovilles, right? We've been seeing some things on TikTok lately. People are trying to eat things that are really hot. So that's how I just recently learned of the Scoville scale. Like that one guy's like 20,000 Scovilles.
I definitely don't know if I could handle something. That sounds like a lot,
No.
but I'm really not sure how that falls on the scale either.
Oh, I put one in the center. I thought that was the
That's
last
okay.
one. We got
This
a
one's the
master
last one.
Okay.
Oh, look, there's a worm on top. Do you see it?
Uh-huh. There's a bunch of little red
She's
worms
not
in
moving.
this soil that we're using.
The top one is the Cali Wonder, which are like little bell peppers.
Right, that's like the typical green pepper, right?
Right.
Yeah, I love those.
Me too. This one I didn't get any fruit off of last year, so I'm hoping this year's better.
Has anybody else started any seeds yet? And if so, do you know what zone you're in? And I love the stackable.
Thank you. It takes up a lot less space when you have the seeds inside, like
Yeah.
I do.
Right. And you don't have a greenhouse.
Nope.
But we do also have plans for a greenhouse. Yes, plans for a greenhouse coming in the future.
Absolutely.
We want to grow food all year round.
I would love to, especially tomatoes. There's nothing better than having tomatoes year round.
So you have seeds started, Cindy. That's awesome. Has lots of microclimates. I feel like just our property alone has its own several like microclimates.
Right?
Yeah. You started tomatoes and they died. I have some over there. I'm not going to share them with you guys because, you know, it's been really cold and I've been really fighting that. They're weak. But, you know, I'm sorry to hear of your tomatoes.
Should we water them a little?
Yeah, go ahead. I filled it up for it. Come on. Yeah. But the dome stays nice.
It is pretty warm.
It isn't too bad in here with the sun hitting on it, and the wind doesn't come up through the floors as much as I thought it was. It's actually less drafty in here than it is in the shed.
Funny how that happens.
Oh, good. You've got a lot done so far, Dave. Yeah, heating blankets or heating pads. See, that was on my mission to try and get a heating pad here in time, but the way things happened with the past week and how busy we've been. Yeah, I'll get this side for you.
Thanks.
We just haven't had the time to get them. So I've been keeping mine wrapped in a down winter coat to try to
helps.
save them. All right. That's great, Kim.
Thanks for your help.
I like it.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
I know, me too. This is Kim's second sackable, by the way. She has one other one already planted, and that's filled with her herbs.
Oh, yeah. All of them, which is nice.
Yeah, she's
on a mission.
She is on a mission. Big gardens this year. No, we did not manage to get the dome shifting situation figured out yet. However, in my personal opinion, I think that filling it up with like leaf blowers underneath and like letting it lift itself off and like blow itself back around and just try to blow it back the other way, just like the wind blew it that way, is going to probably be our easiest attempt at doing that. So it's all about getting everything together in a line for us all to come down and get the dome spun back around.
Right. Hopefully the heat makes it more malleable too.
Yeah, with the heat being on it. It's been really cold, keeping everything pretty solid. But Happy Camper, you started some Cherokee, Big Red, Cherry Roma, jalapenos. So you're doing the same thing too, peppers and tomatoes. See,
Nice.
that's what, oh, you're in Ohio, so you're not far away from us. That's what we're supposed to be starting too. Is anybody on here using the Seed Time app? I know Cindy said that she was. We wish we were in Portugal to help you. So the app also has us planting tomatoes. And one thing we noticed with our Seed Time app when we were on it is that we learned some new things about tomatoes. That there are actually
Yes.
2 different types of
Yes.
tomatoes. So there's a type of tomato called a determinate tomato and an indeterminate tomato. And we had no idea what that meant until we did some research. Kim, I'm going to pull up a screen for you guys. I'm going to let Kim tell you guys about tomatoes because this is a pretty cool little fact.
I love tomatoes, and I'm planting about 20 different varieties this year. So this was a big, this was very helpful to find out this information this year. Determinate means that they're going to have a determined height, these tomatoes. Let me see.
Yeah, let's see if I can get the next screen. I'm sorry, but I'm trying.
And they're more bush-like as opposed to an indeterminate tomato, which is more like a vine. So with your determinate type of tomato, everything's going to bloom at once, everything's going to flower, and you're going to have a huge harvest all at once. So I learned that it was really helpful for canning. So when we want to do tomato sauces and things like that, those tomatoes are going to be super helpful. But the indeterminate ones will continue going until the cold kills them off. So we can keep those going, especially if they're in a greenhouse. We could keep those going all the time.
Oh, so they'll go on until the cold kills them.
Until the cold kills them. The problem is they can grow like 10 feet tall.
I know. I've seen another
that's a
YouTuber
really tall greenhouse.
But his tomatoes grow really, really tall.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But that would be awesome to be able to have tomatoes year round. They say determinate are easier to have in a container. And the indeterminate definitely need like some kind of trellis or lattice to be able to grow. Otherwise, they just end up all on the ground.
On the ground, which I tried to do last year. Last year, my ultimate goal is to have the most natural garden as possible with the least amount of hands going into it. And so I left my garden. I left my tomatoes grow naturally. And luckily, I grew all tomatoes that bush instead of vine. But at the same time, the bushes still got too heavy with the
fruit as it grew.
Yeah.
So they ended up sitting on the soil a little bit, right?
Right.
So this year, what do you have plans to like?
We're gonna do trellises, right? I'm gonna do trellises. You're gonna do
a lattice.
A lattice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the plan for that. I switched it. Does it sound better? Does the sound better? No, I didn't even never notice it on the seed packages, no. Cindy. Yeah, so
I had no idea.
We neither one of us had any idea.
But it's definitely helpful to know. It helps with
there's
planning.
A little visual so you guys can see that Kim put together for us of like the little bush determinate and the vine. But I didn't know that the indeterminate grew until they stopped, the cold killed them. So could you have like a forever tomato plant? Do they have like a lifespan, I wonder?
I think that when I was doing further research about that, there was something about the fruit slowing down the production after 2 years. But I think you can get 2 full cycles of it, if I was reading correctly.
Okay.
But it's definitely something I want to try myself this year and experiment, and we'll see what we can get out of it for sure.
Yeah, that's super cool, especially once we get the greenhouse up and going.
Do you want to help me plant some of these tomatoes then?
I do.
All right, sweet.
We're actually going to plant one of each type of tomato today, of the determinate and the
Indeterminate.
yes.
So the determinate we're going to plant is the Roma.
The Roma tomato, which is a medium-sized tomato. If anybody's ever seen, it's like the typical ones that they package up in the grocery store that aren't attached to a vine.
They're more oval.
Like an oval shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
And then the other one is
the black truffle.
Black truffle tomato. I like those.
I've never seen a black truffle tomato.
They're pretty cool looking. They're not like a marble, but they're a darker. They have like a brownish color or a darker color in the complexion of the tomato. Okay. So it's not just red.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah. Like the Cherokee purple, it sounds like a dark purple.
You know, we always like the appealing
colors.
Right, exactly, for meals and stuff like that. Yeah, mixing that up.
We like to cook. And we actually like to cook together, so we're real excited about growing all our own food so we can cook it.
I want to pick it from the garden as we want to cook it that night. You pick it from your beds and as you want to pick it that night, or as we want to cook it that night. I'm excited for that.
Exactly. And then save it so we can cook it over winter too.
Heck yeah. I can't wait.
Dave says there's a great book called Epic Tomatoes.
Ooh.
Is it a gardening book or is it an actual story? That's based in facts.
Yeah, is it a great reference?
Yeah, we like reference books. So we're
Definitely.
getting quite the library. We're real excited. Real excited on that.
It's nice to have the resources. Even this year, when we sat down to do it, we looked at our notes from last year. Like when we started with the gardening and the seeding this year, putting things together.
Yep. This week, Kim and I are going to try and build a good chunk of our trellises because a lot of the things that Seed Time has us prepping our beds for and getting ready for is going to require trellis. Okay, so you're putting, do you have your holes here already?
Yes, I think so, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So we'll let you guys keep an eye on these throughout the growing season so we can see how they all grow up.
How they take.
Yeah.
Last year I planted like 90 something tomato plants in total.
90, I know.
Remember that?
So many.
I had like a tomato patch. It was
yeah,
it was fun.
Oh, yep. Cindy says they looked up the black truffle tomatoes.
Oh yeah,
says they look real meaty.
They are.
I like a good meaty tomato because I like tomato sandwiches, and to me, like the tomato on tomato sandwich is the meat of the sandwich, right?
Tomato salads with a bunch of different varieties and just like balsamic, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Thank you very much for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll show you guys each a little bit how our gardens look. Some of you know, some of you don't. We only have introduced Kim's garden in just the last episode whenever we took down all the trees to extend it to like double the length that it was for her last year. And ours, Sean and I, as if you follow us, will know that as last spring we constructed this giant circle medicine wheel type garden sundial that it took us quite the time. It was quite a project, but you know, as I look at it every day when I go outside, I absolutely still am in love with it. So we are going to put some trellises up. What I want to show you is the picture of the garden, and then you can see, I'll show you where we have the actual trellises up here. Okay, so this is Sean and I's garden. And as you can see, we have, it's supposed to be 12. There's one missing there. We didn't quite get that far last year, but we have 12 garden beds and 12 pathways in between. In the white arrows in the top, you can see that is where we already have trellises. So those two garden beds have trellises that run up the back wall. we're going to add a third in orange. You can see over there a third trellis to that one raised garden bed, and then I'm going to put an archway trellis that goes in between the two beds that already have the trellises.
I can't wait to see that.
I know, I'm really excited. We're gonna wattle weave it. That's gonna actually be a wattle weave project. We're gonna wattle weave an archway that you can walk through, and then I'll show you guys what crops I plan on putting there so that they grow up to each sides of the arch.
That was just like your beds, right? They were all wattle weaves.
Yeah, they're all well. 4 of them are wattle weave.
Right,
There's plans to do the rest of them, but it was, more important about getting the vegetables in the ground. And this year, it's really focused on the dome. So we probably may or may not get a couple of them wattled this year, but it will grow as the years go. Mostly growing food and getting the dome. Those are the major things this year. Okay, let's see. We got some chat going on. Let's catch up on that. Is the one who brought the Cherokee Purple. Ooh. Oh, okay. He's the author of that book. Okay. We grew Cherokee Purples last year. They were freaking delicious. They were so good. They were a gift to us from another neighbor.
Yeah. I'll have to check out his videos. I love anything yours.
Hello, Donald. Nice to have you. Thank you for coming. Okay. All right. So, let me get over here and we'll get to the next screen and Kim can show you. We'll take a look at the layout of Kim's garden bed.
Yes.
And we do have fence. We did put fence, you'll see in the last video. We put fence all the way around this, but as the way the shadow is in the trees right now, it's just kind of hard to see the fencing. So she highlighted that for y'all in purple.
In an outline, yeah. I have chickens, so it can't not be fenced. It has to kind of be segmented off so we don't lose it all or they'll eat everything. But yeah, basically where you see the orange is where I want to have all of the lattice built. This garden is approximately 90 feet long. It's definitely a big garden, but I'm ready to take this on and tackle this. But basically it'll be approximately 65 feet of lattice that we will construct. And then I kind of laid out exactly where we're going to put stuff too. So I've already, well, you saw we just started tomatoes. That's going to be in the red over here with the red. I'm sorry, the red with the T. And then the P is going to be for the peas. I have mammoth peas going in, so they'll trellis. And then the S is the sweet potatoes. And then there's a C down there at the end. I don't know if you can see that too much, but I have a bunch of cucumbers. I have like 4 or 5 different varieties of cucumbers going in.
So you're keeping all your lattice on one side too?
Yes.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
It's kind of like separate beds, but it's all kind of on one side. And then I think the main reason we're doing that is all for sun purposes, to keep like the rest of the garden beds from being shaded for significant any times of the day. Most vegetables in our growing area require full sun. So yes. I see Cindy and Dan are going to bed. It's 10:30 over there in Portugal. Good night, guys. It was a pleasure having you. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We hope your garden is a success.
Then the last thing is just like the roots and the greens, because I already started the greens last week, and then the roots are getting ready for
seed time has us getting ready to start prepping our beds. So it wants us to start putting in, most of the things that trellis, our greens and our roots. So we're just trying to locate some spots in our garden where we actually will be placing those things, which is what we've been spending our last couple of evenings working on, because some things can't be planted beside other things. We don't want things to shade things out, and we want to make sure everything's put in a spot that it's going to be successful. We don't want to set anything up for failure.
Right.
And here is a little bit. I numbered my garden beds here. That's just for my own personal, so that so I know which bed what stuff's getting planted in. Oh, you're making some tea. Well, that's not lovely. We had some tea.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you can see back in the back corner where my trellises are, I have tomatoes in red and the peas because they're going to be trellising up. And then you can't see where between beds 9 and 10 is actually where that trellis, that archway trellis is. So the cucumbers from the one bed are going to climb the one side of the trellis, and the sweet potatoes from the other bed are are going to climb the other side of the trellis, and it's going to create like this little shaded pathway. And eventually at some point I would like to have 2 of those archways go the whole length of the full garden beds, just to add some really cute aesthetic and some shade to the garden area. I think it'll look really pretty.
We'll have different colored flowers too, so I think that'll be nice when they all bloom.
When they all bloom up
right?
on the archway, yeah.
I can't wait to see
For
that.
sure. My peas last year, I put that giant trellis in for my peas, and they only grew like
I know, little guys.
string.
I know,
Just a
peas.
little.
I'm gonna tackle peas this year. Did not get along last year.
No, I struggled with them as well.
That's okay.
But I can see
You
I have a
learn.
spot for my greens and the cucumbers and the onions and the Brussels sprouts. So it's just kind of a little plan for our gardens. Has anybody else been kind of like,
Planning their layout.
yeah, putting their
prepping their
layouts
beds.
together, prepping beds? Where are you in your garden planning stages? You know, it's actually quite time consuming.
I know. We've spent hours on gardening,
Yes.
information, planning,
Yes.
just research.
Yes.
So much
Putting
research.
things together. And that's not even on top of actually going out and putting the beds together, prepping the beds,
Right.
planting
Physically
the
doing
seeds.
it.
Yeah, the physical actual part of it.
That's so much.
It is. It's
But
a
I
time.
enjoy that work.
I don't mind it at all. I can't wait until at some point in my life cooking and growing are like my main focus. Like that's what I can focus on. Hopefully we're planning this year to have some actual really, some kitchens.
Just some actual kitchens,
Just some
and not
kitchens
just
in
some
general.
outdoor.
We're not looking for dream kitchens. We're just looking for a kitchen.
that we can.
Yeah.
That's all we
can.
want.
And cook good food. Yes.
After
Have
summer.
storage.
Right.
Food storage.
Absolutely.
For sure. Okay, let's see what else we have here to talk about, you guys. We actually have, I think, another
Seed time.
Yeah, we have some more stuff on the seed time. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back up so you guys can take a look. This is actually a screenshot of my seed time, and I have this just laid out by 1 month. Kim has hers separated out as the whole garden season, but everything in different colors there is each a different crop, and you can see that there's like carrots, arugula, lettuce, greens and roots like we talked about, that it wants us this week to start preparing our garden beds for, which is why we've been putting all the beds together and trying to see what's going to plant beside what so that we can start getting those particular beds and areas ready for our gardens. And one of the great things that I wanted to share with you while showing you this is not just so you guys can see what I'm supposed to be doing this week, is so that you can actually see that when you go into the seed time, if you do have it and you have your bed preparation task up here and you say you don't know how to prepare a bed to put carrots in. So if you go into seed time and you actually click on the carrots that you have there, you can click on, there, you can click on the how to do it. Once you click on it, and it will show you actually, oops. I don't know how I did that. Oh, geez. I'm sorry, everybody. Excuse my presentation skills. I'm not the pro presenter. So, whatever. Anywho, as you can see here, we can also learn, which we're not pro gardeners, how to prepare a garden bed for carrots. And then it has like the little how to. I have circled there in red, and then the actual block of red is the actual instructions on how to loosen the soil, how not to flip it, not to use it wet. And then you can actually get furthermore into resources with videos and other hyperlinks that they link you to give you more detail on how to do those things. So that is one of the wonderful perks of seed time that I really enjoy, because each section, not just bed preparation, if you don't know how to seed it, if you don't know how to transplant it, if you don't know how to cultivate it, if you don't know how to harvest it, each one of those things in seed time will actually allow you to click on how to do it, and it will give you a detailed with further resources, instructions on how to do those tasks when gardening. And that is just so beautiful.
It really is.
So
I like
beautiful.
I like that it's broken down step by step, and you don't have to go looking for a reliable reference because they've already
put it
that
all
together for
Yeah,
us.
put it all together for us. It's really a wonderful, man, we really do love it. We're really hoping that through following this, that we see exponential growth from what we did
Right.
last year in our gardens.
We learn a lot too, I think. It still happen.
I think it is. I'm gonna just give myself a little bit more here.
Yeah. Warm up a little more.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's definitely still stinky.
I got some turkey tail texture. Ooh. So
What's that for? Like, what's the benefit of that?
Turkey tail, I believe, is good for focus and good for energy.
Nice.
And just gonna put a little bit of it in my tea. I don't know really how well it tastes. I've only ever attempted to eat this mushroom, and I can tell you that it's an alcohol. This is made out of alcohol. This is an alcohol.
Like an extract.
Yeah, but it's an extract and an alcohol. Not a water base, not oil base. And I've tried the mushrooms themselves, but they actually don't have that much flavor, and they're kind of they're not like the oyster mushrooms that we had. They're not real flexible and taste like that. They're kind of chewy.
Okay. Those oyster ones were more meaty.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So I guess one of the other things that we're going to try and do different this year that we didn't do last year. Well, I mean, I dabbled a little bit. Kim, not so much. But we want to try and preserve our seeds, because ultimately we want to be self-sustainable. And that means saving our own seeds, because the seeds will eventually run out, and what are we going to do then? We'll have nothing left to plant, even though we did start with some nice bulk seed collections. So we want to learn how to harvest the seeds and collect the seeds and continue to reuse from our harvest before this year. I do have some. I couldn't locate them. I tried. I cannot remember where you put them. They're somewhere in the shed. I know that they are. But I did save quite a few different seeds last year that I did try. So I did save some okra, and I saved some sunflowers, and I saved some dill, and I think I saved some cucumber. So I did save a couple other things. You watch out for those cow patty mushrooms.
Which crop do you think was the hardest to harvest the seeds?
The dill seeds were really tiny.
No, that's what I was gonna say. These herb seeds are so small. Even when planting them.
Even yeah, no, they're so microscopic. They're so microscopic, some of the herbs. Yeah. The herbs. But they have some tricks where you can just kind of put them in the brown paper bag and shake it and just kind of hope the seeds fall out of the pod into the bag.
Yeah.
But they're hard to tell the difference with some of them between the pod and this actual seed inside, because they're so tiny.
Just want to keep the herbs going.
Yeah, I just want to keep the herbs going too, forever.
Trying to seed them.
Yeah, trying to seed them for real. But we do have some stuff that's coming back from last year. What was that? Did you see something go across the screen there?
That was. Sorry, guys, it flash.
Yeah,
it was weird.
So we were really excited about that. Some of our seeds that we started this year are starting to come up. I'll show you guys a little bit here. We're going to share more Kim's than mine. She does have our sunflowers. We each have sunflowers over there that were gifted to us. She's got them in temperature control. But as you can see, there's some of our little seed babies already growing.
They're in my kitchen on a folding table, but it's totally worth it so that we can have a start on seeds and see how it goes.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think I've put in about 100 seeds so far until today. Then we put in another 30.
Yeah, 12, so a little over 30.
It's a good start.
That is a good start. My cabbage is coming up. Some of my kale is coming up, but her kale is coming up a little bit better. They're looking a little strong. And then the tall ones there on the end are our sunflowers. Thank you, Glinda. If you're watching, we really love our sunflowers.
Black seeded sunflowers.
Black Russian. I think they're called Black Russians because I had this black seeded sunflower last year, and I think that's what the type of variety was.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah. And I'll show you guys a little bit here of some of the stuff that we have coming up from last year and some things that we learned about stuff coming up from last year. You put your garlic in last year.
I did. I put it in October, November.
Yep, and then it's just finally started to sprout this year. So garlic gets planted in the ground the year before, the season before, right?
If I
the
put it
fall
in
before.
fall, yeah, if you put it in fall, it will start sprouting as early as it can in the spring. Potatoes, I was told you could do that too, but I have never
haven't
tried
noticed.
that.
But I had sweet potatoes in the ground still, and I haven't noticed any of the slips coming back up
Okay.
from this year. But I didn't have regular potatoes either in the ground, so I wouldn't know.
Well, garlic's 8 months before you can harvest. That's what they say before it gets like a full bulb. So if you put it in like November or like in July.
Okay, so that's when it's harvestable, probably around July.
Yeah.
But it looks really good coming up there.
I can't believe your Brussels sprouts are already like that.
Yeah, and those Brussels sprouts, as you can see, I don't know if you can kind of see in the background there, but underneath them is like the dead Brussels sprout. So I didn't plant these from seeds this year. This Brussels sprout is actually regrowing out of the Brussels sprout that I planted last year. And I had no idea. I was like, why are these Brussels sprouts regrowing? Because I just let my garden go for the stuff to like break down and compost itself in there.
Yeah.
And so I did a little research, and it turns out that Brussels sprouts are actually a biennial plant, which means that it will regrow itself the second year, but it won't produce a fruit. It will just flower and turn to seed, and then you can harvest the seeds from it. So if it's going to continue to grow, I'm just going to save myself waiting 2 years to harvest Brussels sprout seeds and try and get some seeds off of the plant this year.
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, might as well if it's already willing to come back and start growing.
Mm-hmm.
Your garlic bulbs are already a foot tall.
That's crazy.
Jeez. That's really tall.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that grow.
And then Kim and I each have pine berries from the same pine berry plant. So these are hers pictured. Mine look just pretty much about the same, but she has a lot more. Hers sprouted off a lot more than mine.
Yeah.
But a pine berry is what, Kim?
It's basically like a white strawberry, but it has red seeds, and apparently there's no seeds that you can plant it to grow. It has to come from a shoot, or I forget what they're called. Do you know what they're called? Like the shoot offs or like the sprout offs?
Yeah, I think that's what they're called, shoots, actually.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that's the only way that they grow. So that's kind of cool. I want to see if we can get enough and, make something yummy to drink out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the pine berries are really pretty. I got one pine berry off my pine berry plant last year, and it was quite delicious.
Did you like the flavor, right?
Yeah, I really like the flavor. And as far as collards, I couldn't make a single green grow last year. I couldn't get spinach to grow. I couldn't get collards, chard, nothing. Not one leafy plant could I get to grow. But this year I'm going to try to construct them their own little like safe house, hoop houses or whatever to go over them so that they don't get demolished by bugs and by like rabbits.
Yeah.
They have found my garden. Yeah.
It's time to do that.
We have regular strawberries too to help cross-pollinate those plants that they're planted beside them. My strawberries are planted right beside my pine berries. Yours are the same, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is my first time growing pine berries.
Yeah.
I had never tried them before this either.
Yeah, me either. I never even heard of them before last year. No. That was my first time hearing them.
Right.
But I'm excited about them. I'm excited about everything. I'm excited about growing everything. Our orchard is doing really well, minus the freeze, and we lost that pear tree, but we're hoping to get more roots and then have a whole bunch of small pear trees.
Right.
So sacrifice the big one for a bunch of tiny ones. Yeah.
What else did we learn? We learned this year that sage is perennial in our zone.
Yes, in our zone, sage grows back every year. So that was kind of cool because her sage just like
popped up one day.
Yeah, crazy taking off, and it was doing really well.
It's probably like a foot tall right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was pretty cool. It was a nice little surprise.
Yeah. You can propagate the crap out of that. Yeah, she already had. She ended up like hers sprouted off so many times that she ended up filling a whole nother stackable with the shoots from the pine berries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
We're excited to see how that produces this year. Yeah. I have mine covering the mound that we built last year with the seat in it in the ground, the stargazing mound. I planted mine on the backside of that to cover the ground cover the mound. Exactly
Yeah.
the way you say it, for ground cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be so cool if we just have all these berries this year.
I know, so many berries because we've got the wild blueberries, we got regular blueberries, we got blackberries, we got, what are those berries? Sean, what are those berries that are down there on that tree that you really like?
Are they pine?
No, they're like service berries.
Oh,
Service berries. He likes the service berries down there.
that's right. I didn't try those, but you guys are talking about
They're
those
really
actually.
good. They were on property, our other property, but we found one down here in the woods.
Do you remember what time of year those actually berry though?
I think they were at the end of May.
So
I have the
coming
video.
up, but yeah,
I was gonna say I can go look at the video where we pulled them off of the tree and Sean just shook it and all the
and
berries
they all
just
just
fell.
fell.
Yeah, it was really awesome. Yeah.
That is cool. It's nice to have that stuff like naturally on our property.
Yeah. There's lots of cool things to forage. We'll be definitely doing a lot of foraging with you guys over this year too, where we have many plans to put more pathways and walking area into our woods so that we aren't shut out from them all summer long.
We have the access.
Yeah.
Because it gets overgrown really quickly here.
So overgrown.
So much green.
Yeah. And it just keeps growing thicker and thicker and thicker. And then by June, you can't even get through the woods. Too many snakes, too many spiders, too much stuff. Way too much stuff. Too many ticks, too many jiggers.
Try to control it this year. At least if we get a pathway, we can.
Yeah. Have a way in.
Absolutely.
Oh no, you're not coming across. Sit down. Get your feet up.
She's like, is it time for my
Yeah. But that's about as far as we are in our plans for our garden and what we've got going on and what we've really been up to. Minus, our other work that we've, been filling the days with. We're slowly working on getting the parts that we need. We're still waiting on the fabric for the underside of the dome. You guys, we're getting ready to do water, right? We're getting ready to do the compost. We're getting ready to do build some water, bring water up, I guess is the word, to both of the properties, and try to be able to feed our water toads so that we are guaranteed water for our gardens this year without having to risk.
We want the yields. We can't have the yield without the water.
Water is priority.
We need water.
Yeah, I know.
All
Nikki
times.
She's trying to interrupt the camera. She was being good though. She laid here a good portion of the time. She had to come up, be nosy, and see what's going on.
At the end.
That's it. That's it. But I think we're gonna get ready soon to go start supper.
Yeah.
See what we can get in our stomachs. It's actually pretty comfortable down here. I wasn't mad. I'm not too mad. We thought we were gonna freeze, but it's not too bad.
Well, we not woke up, but we had flurries this morning.
It was. There was snow.
It was flurrying.
It's okay. Yesterday we were all pumped because it said it was supposed to look like this all day.
Yes.
Definitely not. This morning we were just sitting there watching the snow stick to everything at like 16 degrees.
It was cold.
It was hard to get up and get going this morning.
But this was a good jump start for spring tomorrow. That's the planning end of it.
It motivates me. It gets me excited. I hope tomorrow when I look at the weather, after tomorrow night's cold, that it's no more freezing.
Right. That would be nice. Be done. It really would.
Yeah, we can get some stuff because pretty soon direct seed. That means it goes directly into the ground and that seed. So we'll be doing that sooner than later.
But if you guys have any suggestions with anything or ideas, please let us know.
Please.
We're always open to learning more things. And
yeah, we definitely are. Just like the tomato book, we'll definitely be looking into that resource and checking it out. We definitely appreciate that, Dave. You always do hook us up with the good stuff. We love our books that you send. We love our books that you send. I just ended up put them all together the other day and tried to see how nice the library was coming along. We're getting our compost books out, so
that's right.
Yeah, it's that 18-day compost.
Right.
Who thinks we can do it? Can we make healthy compost in 18 days? The internet says we can, so I'm going with it. We will find out.
Our garden's dependent on it right now.
That's it. This is our plan for compost this year, to make our own. We don't want to outsource. We did outsource last year, but we didn't pay for it. We did end up finding free compost. It was just gas and hauling and stuff like that. But this year we're going to attempt to make our own.
We want to double things, so we kind of need to make sure we have enough material.
Enough material, because our garden spaces are huge. That circle might look small on this little screen, but that thing is 53 foot across.
Not
right.
small by any means.
Yes. Okay, so Dave, if it rots, it composts is true, but at the same time, like milk rots, but it also spoils. And like some things spoil and rot, I guess, is more like they spoil before they compost. And it says really not to put rotting, like moldy things and spoiling things in. But even if it's right before they spoil, it's going to spoil in the compost, right? So to me, like that's a little bit that's confusing. Some things I need to learn a little bit more on the difference of. I originally was putting meat in my compost bin when I first started composting and stuff like that. And I was putting things that were molded in there. And I've stopped doing that once I've learned a little bit more, but I still have more learning to do. By far. But we did turn our compost bin the other day, huh, Sean? And we turned it in. It smelled like fresh dirt in there. It didn't stink. It didn't smell like rot. It didn't smell like mold. It smelled like fresh dirt. So that was promising.
It was dark too, right?
Yeah, it was nice and dark. Yeah, it was promising. Yeah.
Ready for that.
But if anybody has any questions or anything, we'll go ahead and give a couple minutes and let anyone ask anything if they want to ask anything, and then we'll probably end up wrapping it up here.
Finish up our tea and go make some dinner.
Yeah. There's gotta be something good.
Right.
To me. Four. I think that's we got enough to make 2 piles, right? About that size.
I think so.
I think that's
the guys have that all planned out.
Yeah, the guys are really
details,
working. Yeah,
the guys are working on those.
But we did see the dirt come in. So.
I've seen people compost, or at least videos of whole hogs. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Whole, like that, it just breaks it down.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't know about all of that. To me, I would have thought it would have been fine, but just like Sean says, I guess it just brings animals in. But to me, at the same time, you would think it would, I don't know, mold.
We also have coyotes around here. Like, I don't know if that would draw them in or...
Right.
I mean...
I'm
we
pretty
definitely
sure
don't want that aspect.
Definitely not, because then that takes away from the livestock, and then the chicken's going to go missing, and then everybody...
Dogs could get hurt, whatever.
Yeah, too much. All right, guys. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming to hang out with us and drink some tea and talk gardens. We're really excited about it. We could probably talk about the subject for the whole entire day. In fact, we've been doing it 4 days.
We do.
We do it all the time. We've started in like January doing this. So
I enjoy the topic, though.
So do I. Bringing things to life. Oh, Jesus. Bringing things to life from the ground is just so rewarding, and then being able to eat it and then store it and eat it again, and like it's so cool. All right, guys. Well, if there aren't any questions, we're gonna go ahead and peace out and go start taking care of our evening chores and getting things done before it starts to get too cold. We definitely have another night of 16 or something really freezing cold tonight, so
I'm not ready.
We just want to get prepared for that and make sure that we're ready.
Yeah.
So
get the animals put away.
Yep, get the animals put away, get everybody fed. Everyone to bed. All right, everyone. We thank you so much for tuning in.
Have a good night.
Until next time, keep growing.